The Viking Age, a time of ruthless warriors, expansive voyages, and legendary tales. Among the many figures that emerged from this era, one name echoes with a chilling resonance: Ivar the Boneless. His story is a tapestry woven from fragments of historical accounts and threads of captivating legends. He remains an enigma, a figure shrouded in mystery and controversy. Was he a ruthless barbarian or a brilliant strategist? The truth lies somewhere between history and legend. Across history, certain names resonate with an almost mythical quality. Names that evoke both fear and admiration. Ivar the Boneless stands tall among these figures, synonymous with Viking prowess and unrestrained brutality. But who was the man behind the legend? What drove his ambition? From the rugged coastlines of Scandinavia, Viking raiders embarked on daring voyages. Driven by a thirst for wealth, land and glory, they left an indelible mark on history. Ivar's story emerges from this tumultuous backdrop, a tale woven from historical accounts and enduring legends. While separating fact from fiction remains a challenge, Ivar's impact on 9th century Europe is undeniable. Ivar the Boneless. Even his name hints at the enigma that surrounds him. The epithet boneless has sparked endless debate. Was it a descriptive moniker signifying a physical ailment, or a metaphorical title alluding to his cunning and adaptability? The scarcity of reliable historical sources deepens the mystery. Our primary glimpses into Ivar's world come from the Norse sagas, blending historical events with mythology. While these sagas offer invaluable insights into Viking culture, they must be approached with a discerning eye. They are not objective historical accounts, but narratives crafted to entertain and inspire. The Norse sagas are our primary window into the world of Ivar the Boneless. They are literary tapestries woven with threads of historical events and rich mythology. Yet their nature presents a challenge for historians seeking to unravel the historical Ivar from the legendary figure. The sagas, written down centuries after the events, were products of an oral tradition. Each retelling added layers of embellishment, shaping the narrative to suit the tastes of the time. Heroic deeds were magnified, villains demonized, and the lines between fact and fiction blurred. While the sagas cannot be taken as literal historical accounts, they offer invaluable insights into Viking culture. They provide glimpses into social structures, beliefs, and the values that underpinned their society. The sagas tell us what the Vikings admired in their heroes: courage, cunning, and strategic brilliance. Beyond the sagas, seeking truth in fragments, the quest to uncover the historical Ivar requires venturing beyond the captivating narratives of the sagas. Fragmentary accounts from contemporary chroniclers in England and Francia offer glimpses into Ivar's exploits. These accounts, though often biased, provide valuable external perspectives on their activities. They paint a picture of Ivar as a formidable military leader, capable of commanding large forces. The chroniclers, while condemning the Vikings' brutality, often acknowledge their strategic brilliance. Numismatic evidence, in the form of coins minted during Ivar's reign in Dublin, offers further clues to his power. These coins suggest a ruler who commanded considerable resources and held sway over a significant territory. While these fragments help to solidify Ivar's historical footprint, they also highlight the challenges faced by historians. The scarcity of reliable sources demands a careful approach, balancing the legendary accounts with historical data. The archaeological echo whispers from the Viking past. Unearthing Viking relics reveals their culture, craftsmanship, and trading networks. Ship burials show their shipbuilding skills, and weaponry attests to their martial nature. Each artifact paints history's canvas. The enigma of the Boneless, Ivar the Boneless. The very name conjures images of a figure both intriguing and formidable, yet the epithet boneless remains one of the most enduring mysteries. The sagas offer no definitive explanation, leaving historians to grapple with various interpretations. Some speculate it alluded to a physical condition, perhaps a skeletal deformity. Others propose a more metaphorical meaning, suggesting it represented his flexibility and strategy. The sagas often depict Ivar as smaller in stature than his brothers, a detail that fuels the debate. Was this a literal description, emphasizing a physical contrast to his formidable reputation, or did it serve a narrative purpose? The ambiguity surrounding Boneless adds to the mystique of Ivar. It allows for a complex portrayal, one that transcends simple definitions of strength and leadership. Whether a physical reality or a metaphorical representation, the epithet has become inseparable from his legend. Despite the mystery surrounding his epithet, one aspect of Ivar's image remains consistent: his reputation as a fierce and ruthless warrior. He is portrayed as a force of nature, capable of inspiring both terror and admiration. His exploits on the battlefield are legendary, tales of his strategic brilliance and brutal efficiency. The sagas highlight Ivar's cunning and strategic mind, portraying him as a master tactician. He is depicted as a patient planner, carefully studying the terrain and anticipating his enemy's moves. He understood the psychological impact of warfare, using fear and surprise as weapons. Yet Ivar's brutality in battle is equally emphasized, a testament to the harsh realities of Viking warfare. The sagas do not shy away from depicting the violence he inflicted, portraying him as a warrior who showed no mercy. This ruthless streak contributed to his fearsome reputation and solidified his image as a leader who commanded respect. Ivar's military genius extended beyond individual battles. He is depicted in the sagas as a master strategist, capable of planning and executing complex campaigns. His ability to command large forces, forge alliances, and exploit his enemies' weaknesses made him a formidable adversary. The great heathen army's invasion of England stands as a testament to Ivar's strategic brilliance. This coordinated assault shattered the Anglo-Saxon kingdom's defences and altered the course of English history. The sagas attribute much of the army's success to Ivar's leadership, highlighting his ability to unite disparate Viking forces. His strategic acumen was evident in the Siege of York, a pivotal moment in the invasion. The sagas describe how Ivar orchestrated a cunning plan to capture it. He understood the value of psychological warfare, employing deception, intimidation, and brute force to secure victory. The arrival of the great heathen army on English shores in 865 AD marked a turning point in Viking history. This was no mere raiding party, but a formidable force bent on conquest. At the heart of this invasion stood Ivar the Boneless, his name whispered in hushed tones. The sagas paint a vivid picture of Ivar's role in the great heathen army. They describe him as a unifying force, a charismatic leader who rallied disparate Viking bands. His reputation as a cunning strategist and a ruthless warrior preceded him. The scale of the invasion was unprecedented. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle describes the Vikings' arrival with a sense of dread, recording their relentless advance. Towns and villages were put to the torch, monasteries plundered, and armies scattered before the Viking onslaught. The Siege of York, a city broken, a kingdom shaken. The ancient city of York, a centre of power and wealth in northern England, stood as a tempting prize for the Viking invaders. Its capture would be a symbolic victory, a testament to the great heathen army's power. Ivar the Boneless, ever the astute strategist, recognized the city's significance. The sagas describe the Siege of York in detail, highlighting Ivar's cunning and understanding of psychological warfare. He knew that a direct assault on the city's formidable walls would be costly. Instead, he opted for a campaign of attrition to weaken the defenders' resolve. He ordered his forces to surround the city, cutting off supply lines. He then unleashed a relentless barrage of arrows and siege weapons, keeping the defenders under constant pressure. As days turned into weeks, the city's inhabitants began to feel the strain, their supplies dwindling, their morale waning. East Anglia's fall, the serpent uncoils. With York under their control, the great heathen army turned south to East Anglia. Led by Ivar the Boneless, the Vikings marched with confidence. King Edmund faced a stark choice: submit or face their wrath. The sagas offer conflicting accounts of Edmund's fate. Some portray him as a courageous ruler, others depict him as a martyr. Edmund's death marked a pivotal moment in the Viking invasion. It solidified their control over a significant portion of England. The fall of East Anglia underscored Ivar's strategic brilliance. He had conquered a kingdom and sown fear among his enemies. The Anglo-Saxon kingdoms were now fragmented and vulnerable. The City of Lights under siege. The year is 845 AD. The River Seine, usually a tranquil artery of commerce, now reflects the flickering flames of an approaching terror. A vast Viking fleet, led by Ivar the Boneless, has sailed upriver. Their destination, the heart of the Frankish Empire, the city of Paris. News of Ivar's approach sends shockwaves through the city. Tales of his ruthlessness and strategic brilliance precede him. The Parisians, accustomed to a life of relative peace, now face the stark reality of a Viking siege. Paris, at this time, is not the sprawling metropolis of later centuries. It is an island city, its defences concentrated around the Ile de la Cité. The Seine River, while offering a route of approach for the Vikings, also serves as a natural barrier, protecting the city from a direct landward assault. Ivar the Boneless, ever the pragmatist, surveys Paris's defences with a keen eye. He knows that a direct assault on the fortified city would be a costly endeavour. The Parisians, though caught off guard, have had time to prepare, and the Seine River itself presents a formidable obstacle. Ivar understands that a siege is not just about brute force, it is a battle of wills, a test of endurance. He orders his forces to establish a strategic encampment outside the city walls, cutting off key supply routes and preventing reinforcements from reaching the beleaguered Parisians. Days turn into weeks, and the siege of Paris grinds on. The Vikings, skilled in the art of siege warfare, launch sporadic attacks, testing the city's defences, probing for weaknesses. They use catapults to hurl burning projectiles into the city, setting fire to buildings and sowing terror among the populace. Within the walls of Paris, the situation grows desperate. Food and water supplies dwindle. Disease spreads through the cramped and unsanitary conditions, and the constant fear of Viking attacks takes a heavy toll on the morale of the defenders. King Charles the Bald, ruler of the Western Frankish kingdom, finds himself in a precarious position. He is eager to break the Viking siege, but his forces are scattered, preoccupied with other threats to his realm. He understands that negotiating with Ivar the Boneless might be the only option to save Paris from complete destruction. Ivar, for his part, is not interested in a protracted siege. He is a pragmatist, a raider, not a conqueror of cities. He seeks plunder, not land. He recognizes the opportunity to secure a handsome ransom for the release of Paris, a prize that would further enhance his reputation and fill the coffers of his Viking brethren. After tense negotiations, an agreement is reached. The Vikings will lift the siege and leave Paris, but only after receiving a hefty payment in silver and gold. This Danegeld, as it would become known, marks a turning point in Viking relations with Francia. It establishes a pattern of strategic raiding and extortion that would continue for decades to come. While Ivar the Boneless's exploits in England and Francia are well documented, his activities in the east remain shrouded in greater uncertainty. The sagas offer hints of campaigns in the lands of the Slavs, but these accounts are often fragmented. Some accounts link Ivar to the legendary Swedish Viking chieftain Rurik, who founded the Rurikid dynasty. Other accounts place Ivar in Gardariki, suggesting his involvement in raids along the Volga trade route. The sagas depict Ivar as a shrewd leader who understood the strategic value of controlling key trade routes. While the specifics of Ivar's campaigns in the east remain elusive, his presence in distant lands speaks volumes about his reputation and the fear he instilled. The sagas reflect the awe with which Vikings viewed their leaders, attributing to them feats of daring and conquest. Ivar's legacy, forged in conquest, continues to captivate and inspire. The circumstances surrounding Ivar the Boneless's death are as shrouded in mystery as much of his life. The sagas offer varying accounts, each adding to the enigma of this Viking leader's final days. Some tales place his demise in England, suggesting he succumbed to wounds or illness. Other accounts claim he died in Dublin, his life cut short by treachery or fate. The exact year and cause of Ivar's death remain debated among historians. The lack of definitive evidence only deepens the mystery. Most scholars agree he died in the latter half of the 9th century. Despite the uncertainty, Ivar's impact on Viking history is undeniable. He was a visionary leader, a cunning strategist, and a symbol of Viking ambition. His death marked the end of an era, a turning point in the Viking Age. The great heathen army fragmented in the years following his demise. The Anglo-Saxon kingdoms began to regroup, their resistance solidifying. Ivar the Boneless's legacy is a complex one, woven from threads of brutality, strategic brilliance, and legend. He was a Viking warlord who embraced the violence of the 9th century, yet transcended the typical image of a barbarian raider. The sagas portray him as a master tactician who could outmaneuver his opponents. His victories were the result of careful planning and cunning deception. His siege of York, the conquest of East Anglia, and the raid on Paris stand as testaments to his military genius. He understood the value of exploiting weaknesses and using fear as a weapon, yet Ivar's brutality and ruthlessness cannot be ignored. The sagas depict the violence he inflicted and the destruction he left in his wake. Ivar the Boneless remains a captivating figure, a study in contrasts. A ruthless Viking warlord, but also a shrewd strategist and visionary leader. His legacy is a blend of darkness and light, brutality and brilliance. The saga of Ivar the Boneless is a journey through a landscape shrouded in the mists of time, a realm where historical fact and captivating legend intertwine. He emerges as a figure of immense power, a warlord who left an undeniable mark on 9th century Europe. His name, linked to the great heathen army's conquest of England, evokes awe and trepidation, a testament to his enduring legend. Ivar the Boneless continues to fascinate and intrigue centuries after his death. He embodies the spirit of the Viking Age, a blend of ambition, strategic brilliance, and unyielding courage. His story has inspired countless tales, novels, films, and television series. He remains a figure of enduring fascination, a testament to the power of legend.